Hey, this is Eddie Hale, and I'm going to show you how to make a horizontal navigation bar using HTML and CSS in Dreamweaver. This is part of my web design class. It's Unit 8 of my web design class. First off, I've got this ugly navigation bar here with these horizontal bars and blue links. I'm going to change the look and the color and everything. They are in a div called navigation. We need to know that for later. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete these vertical bars and insert hard returns, and I might pause the tape while I do it. So you need to put a hard return between all of your links. It looks pretty ugly and scary, but that's okay. Then select them all, and in your properties panel, click on the unordered list button. Every set of links is basically a list of options, and so it should be in an unordered list. Now, our next step, I need to remove the bullet here and the extra padding and spacing that goes around an unordered list. I'm going to select this UL in my tag selector down here, and then I'm going to click the new rule button in my CSS panel, and I'm going to make it one click less specific. What this name here says is that I'm going to affect the unordered lists, but only those inside the navigation div, which is exactly what I want. Click OK, and then right here I'm going to go into box and tell the padding to be 0 and the margin to be 0. And I am going to go to block, and since I want this navigation bar to be centered, I'm going to go text align center. And then I'm going to go to list, and I'm going to tell the list style type to be, the list style type to be none. And that's going to take the bullet away. I'll click OK. And there's no bullet, and it took away any extra padding that was in there. Now I want these links to stack up next to each other instead of over each other. Right now, each of these list items, li, is a block element, and a block element causes a line break at the end of it. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to make a new style. Because I selected that li, it's going to guess that I want to change the li's. So this, again, is only going to change list items inside the navigation div, which is exactly what I want to do. I'm going to go to block and display inline, and that's the thing. If I click apply, that's the thing that's going to make them act like inline elements instead of block elements. That's all I'm going to do from there. I'm going to leave it just like that. Inline. I'm going to click OK. Now what I want to do is I want to change the way the links look inside of there. So I'm going to click on the A. In my tag selector, I'm going to make a new rule, and it's going to guess, one click less specific, that I want to affect the links that are inside list items inside my navigation div. I'm going to do one different thing. I'm going to type :link on the back of this, navigation ULLI A::link, and hopefully you'll agree with me in a moment when I make a rollover effect too. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my type color. I'm going to change it to some light color. You could type something in, or you could sample a color from your image. I'm going to sample that cloud color back there. Click apply. There, now my links get lighter, a little easier to read. I'm going to change the background color of my links to a little bit darker brown back there. How would that be? Apply that. I want darker yet. There's my background color. If you look at it though, it really hugs the links. So what I need to do now is I need to push that color away from my links. I'm going to do that in the box panel using padding. I practiced a little bit. I'm going to do 2 pixels of padding on the top, 30 on the right, 2 on the bottom, and 30 on the left, and see what that looks like. Now then I get some fairly big links there. If that's too big, of course, you can make the padding smaller, but you'll see how that kind of works. Last thing I want to do is I want that underline to go away. I am going to go to type again and click on text decoration none. Apply. So that's what my links will look like. Horizontal navigation bar truly it's an unordered list, and that's what it's coded as, is an unordered list. I'm going to click OK. But now what I want is, I'm going to preview that, Firefox, save it, yes, save that. Shrink this up so it fits in here. That's pretty neat. Oh, it turns purple when I've visited it already. Plus, I want to make kind of a neat rollover effect, so let's do that. I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver, and in my CSS styles over here, I'm going to right-click on that, navigation ULLI::link. Right-click on that and go to duplicate. And I'm going to change this to A visited. This will keep that type from turning purple when I've been there already. Now, for usability, I should open this up and change the look of that a little bit so a viewer can tell when they've been to that link before. But in the interest of speed, I'm going to let you do that on your own. I'm going to duplicate that again. Duplicate, because I want to get right to the fun part. I'm going to change the name of this to A hover, navigation ULL, A hover, click OK. This is the fun part. I'm going to double click on this to open it, and I'm going to change the look of this now so that when a person puts their cursor over my link, it will change its appearance. I think I'll go to type color and I'll change that. Should we do something drastic? I'll do something drastic. I'm going to change the type color to dark, and then I'm going to change the background color to something light. I don't know if I'd really do it this drastic. I kind of like subtle changes, but for this demo, I think it'll be more interesting. So I'm clicking OK to that. Now let's preview that. Preview that in Firefox. Yes, save all my changes. Now when I cursor over it, you can see that it changes color. That's that A::hover effect. And even though I've been to this page already, it doesn't turn purple because my A visited tells it to stay the same color as my regular links. Last thing I think I'm going to say is that order matters. It has to be A link first, then A visited, then A hover. If you accidentally have A hover over A visited, then the A visited will win out and the hover action will never happen when you're in the browser. The hover has to come after visited for those to work right. So there, I hope that helps you a little bit. You can play around with margins and things. I know some people will put a negative margin between these to draw those together a little bit more. You're welcome to do that. Oh yeah, I just want to add one thing. If you want your navigation bar to align on the right or the left instead of in the center, you can open up your navigation UL rule and go to block and change it to left to make your navigation line up on the left, or right apply to make it line up on the right. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was that this beautiful heading artwork up here was created by the amazing Lane Butts, a friend of mine from Southern California. I didn't make that. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Lane.